Can you control your destiny? Are you the master or someone else is controlling you, or is it already written? Let's find out a solution or a pathway that has been given from the past by scholars. In this book, the very best book about this topic, this is called The Mastery of Destiny. So, in this book, we will be discussing if you are the master of your fate or someone else is. We have many words about this thing called fate, destiny, providence. We've been given many names about this thing. But there are some unanimous things that there is a superpower. But one fine line is defined that you can choose the pathway between the path given by gods or yourself. There is a unanimous agreement in the past. But in the line of poets always say that favoritism is there among gods, and gods give fortune to people who they are giving favoritism to. Let's see further onwards if it's true or not. What can we find in relation to this? So do not subscribe if you don't want to learn further onwards and implement the knowledge that I am sharing with you. But do subscribe and you will love it, because you're not going to get anything more simpler form, all the knowledge from the history in the easiest possible way. Let's dive into it. What he says, the writer, that man is stuck into the issue of cause and effects. He is totally stuck into this part that everything has a cause and effect. He can do some causes and he can have control on causes, but he cannot have the control on it, on the effects that is going to be produced by the causes. But there are two contradictions in this line of thought. So what he says, the writer, he says, man is free to use cause, but effect is related to destiny. But here is a small trick to think of it. If it is all about destiny, then why should we be thinking about doing anything extra and learning anything extra? If the characters are built at birth, at the time of birth, the character has been given to us, then why do we have to learn? Why do we have to work hard on ourselves? That means there are two contradictory thoughts. One thought says everything is pre-planned by the gods or by destiny. Whatever name you want to give it, fate, whatever, doesn't matter. But the other side says it is not built by default. It is learned and it is in your hand to create it. Because if it was the case, it was given at birth or before birth, then why do we have to strive? Why do we have to do? Why do we have to learn or create ourselves again inside this world? That's what we're going to discuss further onwards. But both sides are very interesting. So we have to be very neutral when we are analyzing these things. What he further says is that characters are not ready-made. Characters are the byproduct of our deeds. Of our deeds means the actions that we do, that we perform. But those actions are our choosings. So it's a tricky thing to understand. Whatever character you see in someone, if I'm having a character of giving you knowledge, it's a deed. It's a part of the deed that I'm doing. I'm reading the books and getting the knowledge, making the beautiful notes in my beautiful handwriting, and have decided to create this character in front of you. That character that I'm presenting in front of you with this knowledge, that is way more valuable that you can think of, that is part of my deeds that I have done. I have read those books, I have selected those books, gone through the material, and then I am able to present in front of you. But is it actually the part? Not necessarily. That's just one thought process. Then further he says, man is a doer of deeds and maker of his character. So we are in control of our character by selecting our own deeds, but we cannot have any control over the effects of it. Means that destiny, he says, is defined by someone else. We can do the character side, we can choose the doings, but the effects are not in our control. That has to be decided and outputted by some other power. So still a contradiction in thought process. That is still the destiny there, or we create our own destiny. Now, let's further dive into it. Are we the maker of our destiny, or are we just the creator of the source of destiny? where we just do things and we cannot control the output. Let's see further on. He further says that the law of the nature or destiny or fate or whatever you want to call it, law of life, it is very fair. It is never unfair. You will be reaping the results of what you have done. It's in your control. It is no one else's control. It means whatever you have done, you will see the results. You will be reaping the results of those actions. We see a lot of time, we see that, okay, good people are having a bad situation and bad people are winning and having a good situation, and that start an aggravated situation in our mind, very conflicting situation in our mind, that we should be bad also because bad people are winning. No. There are some acts, what he says, in the past that they have done in a good way. That is why they're reaping the results of those good actions. But that is not against the law of the world or the nature. Not the world. In fact, we should say nature or fate. Because world is a worldly thing. That is a totally different game. When we're talking about the law of destiny, law of fate, that is very fair. That is not favoring anyone. That is never going to outsmart or outfavor anyone or be outsmarted by anyone. No. As I always say, we are superhumans, but we are in control of our deeds, and those are the powers that define us being as a superhuman. So what we have to understand, sometimes we just are being very conceptualized in being favorable to certain situations. So let's come out of that situation and analyze things. So further onwards, what he says is you have to see things very rationally and neutral, with a neutral mindset. Why? Because we should not be judging bad people result and good people result in that certain absence or presence of the results. We have to see maybe they have done, we have to research, they have done some good deeds. Now he further says that it's not only about man. The same law applies to nations. Nations will rise when they have done some good deeds. That is the only time then they will be starting reaping the results and fruits of their deeds. When they work hard, when they are focusing on their positive sides and giving out to the world, only then they start rising. Otherwise, you will never find a nation that has not done something good and risen up to the highest levels. For example, if you see the current world, UK, US, these are the top countries. Why? Do you think we start just criticizing these countries, these big, very, very good countries, just being irrational and being having a favoritism to certain ideology? We have to be very neutral. We have to understand this country, UK, US, these are the biggest countries in the whole world. They have controlled the whole world. Why? Because they have done so many good things. That is the reason they are being favored by the fortune. We do not want to do the effort they are doing, and we expect other countries, means the other countries, they expect to rise without doing the hard work, without giving the good to the nature. So we have to understand when this country, UK, is being a prominent figure out of all 200 and something countries. Why? You don't want to answer why. Because you are being irrational. You are being favoritism, you are giving favoritism to certain ideology and then seeing the world through that lens only. You are not taking out your favorite glasses and then see the world in a neutral perspective with the lens of zero power. Means you are not having any favoritism in your one lens or the other side. Then you will realize why these nations are at the very top of the world. Then you will be in fact praising these nations rather than criticizing these best nations in the world. You have to understand this part. Further, he says that, the writer explains that you can build your best character in this life with the help of three things. What these three things are? Virtue, success, and my favorite thing, failure. Virtue, success, the most favorite is failure. Because if you are afraid of failure, trust me, you already lost half of the battle, whatever you want to achieve. That I can assure you, whatever I am reading for you people, I have not come across a single writer who is saying about the fear of failure. Fear is the only thing that stops you, that make you lose more than half of your energy. In fact, 90% of energy is gone already, but you don't realize that. So in this life, you build up your character. When you're talking about the character is not only the physical appearance. Character is about the whole perspective of your persona, your personality that you're giving out to the world. Means how you existed in this one and what were the effects of it all over the world and around your personality within your life and outside your life as well. So with the help of success, virtue and failure, you are gonna develop the best of your character. But again, we are very, very fearful when we see the F word with failure. As soon as you hear the word failure, we're already on the back foot. Why? When you are achieving anything, when you are going for anything, you already have to be in the mindset of failure that I'm going to have so many setbacks. But yesterday, for example, I was reading a book. Obviously, I'm going to go and make a video of that one. In that one, it was saying, if you fail one time, 10 times, and I was literally reading that book and I was thinking that next part is going to be 100 times. Then he was even exaggerating towards 1,000 times, even 10,000 times he was saying, the writer was saying, and still you have to keep on giving on. You have to give up your best again and again and again. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. So with the help of success and failure, both things together, you have to build your character. And the character is with your deeds. And deeds are chosen based on your experiences. And then you become a full character of life that you want to build. And then you can say, I am in charge of myself or my destiny or fate. Then you will see the results. Thank you very much for listening and understanding. Hopefully this was a better understanding of life, destiny and fate for you. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you very much.